I think more that you can focus on your players or your team and your people, the more results you're going to see over time. And that's my challenge to you as you're listening to this is what is your coaching style? What's your leadership style? Do you sometimes put the mission first? And what are the results that you've seen? And I'd love to hear your thoughts. Hello, and welcome to Enter the Nebula, episode 25. My name's Mike Ergo, and this week we're going to dip into a little bit of a story time, and it's a sports story time. So if you're not into sports, hang tight because there is a bigger message at the end. But for those that don't know, I did play club hockey and club lacrosse in college at Mount St. Mary's University, and am lucky enough to have coached college lacrosse and hockey at Stevenson University. And a lot of what I draw from as a leader in my professional life, I draw from experiences that I had while coaching. It taught me so much. And this week, I want to focus on adjusting my coaching style and what led to that. And to start a little context, I started coaching at Stevenson University in the 2013-2014 season, and which was the inaugural season of their club lacrosse program. It was hard. It was hard to jump in and start a program like that, but I was confident because I had done it before. I started the club lacrosse program as an undergrad and kind of Reggie Dunlop the situation. If you don't know who that is, go look him up and then come back. And player coached. So I'd done it before, and we'd had success in college. So I knew what to do. I knew what the program needed. I knew what it took to be successful in the league, and I was headstrong and focused to get us there. And we were successful. We had made a Final Four. We had been nationally ranked. And in the 2016-2017 season, I was posed with the question of, did I want to switch over and coach hockey and start that program? And at the time, I had a great assistant coach who was ready to be a head coach on the lacrosse team. And I thought, what better opportunity for him to take over and for me to move over there. And I was a little bit surprised, but more focused on the next opportunity. When I told the guys that I was leaving, I was upset. I formed a connection with them, but I didn't necessarily see the response of everyone being upset that I had thought. There were definitely guys that were upset, but some weren't, and it didn't really stick with me quite yet. But we'll loop back to that. And taking over the hockey team, we only had 8 or 9 guys to start. And if you don't know hockey, that's not a lot. And we knew that the season we were going to embark on, we were not going to win many games, if any at all. And we ended up taking Virginia Tech to overtime in November of that first season. And I said to the guys something along the lines of, imagine if you guys can do this with 8 or 9 guys, what we can do with 10 more. And rather than focusing on winning, because I knew that that wasn't really possible with 8 or 9 guys, I was focused on my players. I was focused on keeping them at the university. I was focused on making the experience the best it could be. And that was the first time I had coached that way. When I was coaching lacrosse, it was, we need wins, and winning is fun, and we want to have fun, and we need to win. And the only way to get there is to focus on the strategy and drilling and, not the relationships with the players. Whereas with hockey, winning had kind of been taken off the table for me, realistically. It's not like we didn't try to win, but again, if you don't know hockey with 8 or 9 guys, it's at a collegiate level, very difficult to do. So instead it was, really getting to know the guys, letting them get to know me, understanding the vision for the program and how we were going to get there. And One of the most meaningful experiences of my life happened on December 10th when this group of guys um, beat Towson University with eight skaters. It was incredible. I think the shots were over 60 shots. I won't bore you with the details, but all I could think of in returning to that locker room to celebrate with them was to just say, look at what you guys have proved to yourselves that you could do. Think of what we can do in the future. And, just to beg again that they stay to grow the program. And when I walked in the locker room, typically after a win, the coach will get a game puck or two and hand it out to players who had maybe stood out throughout the game. And before I could say anything, our captain stopped me and handed me the puck and said something along the lines of, "Hey, coach, we know how much this means to you, and we're just really excited to be part of this program." And I thought, oh my God, I have spent so much time instead of focusing on getting them to this point, just really getting to know them and investing in them and doing my best by them, that they got there naturally. And I think as leaders within whether it's a professional environment or athletic environment or your neighborhood or whatever it is, we can get so focused on the mission and what we're trying to accomplish instead of focusing on the people around us who are also marching in that same direction and what can we do best by them. And I think if we focus more on that and don't get lost in the mission, we're going to find that our teams are very successful and very supported. And then you're going to see something else happen. Meaningful relationships form over time that would have never formed without you in that environment. And that to me, I think is incredible to see these relationships grow because I think most of us want more out of work than just the transaction, right? If we're spending 40, 50, 60 hours with these people that we're working with every week, why not make it more than just making sure we hit our goal at the end of the quarter, right? Why don't we create something more than that? And I think as leaders, when we create environments like that, people feel supported. And now to go back to the lacrosse team, I didn't create that culture, right? I had created a culture focused on winning. I've definitely had managers in the past where I haven't gotten as close to them because I knew that if I got in the way of the mission, I was expendable and that they weren't going to take the time to necessarily get to know me or support me because they were focused on the mission. And that's fine. But I think that's how some of the players on the lacrosse team viewed me as, yeah, this guy, yeah, sure, he cares about me, but if I'm getting in the way of winning, I'm an expendable number here. And I think that looking back on it resonates with me. And in no me way am I perfect now or have ever been perfect. I think it's a constant working habit that you focus on to get better at. But I think more that you can focus on your players or your team and your people, the more results you're going to see over time. And that's my challenge to you as you're listening to this is what is your coaching style? What's your leadership style? Do you sometimes put the mission first? And what are the results that you've seen? And I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks again for listening this week. Again, my name's Mike Ergo. You can read the full article on my website, intellectualnebula.com. Please, please, I know it's so corny, but make sure you're following on all the socials. The more you like and comment, the more it helps me grow my brand. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you next time.